Good evening, everyone. I remember to unmute us. So, isn't it, Brett? Let's do a sound check.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, guys. Hopefully, you can hear us this week. We've put a lot of effort into
Yeah, you can hear
checking
me.
I don't screw up the audio. Bit of a dreadnought matchup. Cool. All right, guys. So, welcome to another week of the Coach Show. This
See
is
what people think about that, but we'll get to the matchup a little bit later on.
yeah, not too much longer. So, this is your weekly Coach Show. This is where we come and go through the details of what happened in the Coach tournament this week. We go through other Keyforge news, including spoilers, release information, Dex Keyforge update, and results and events coming up from around the world. Mainly Europe and the US, but I'm sure once I get another Asia Pacific mod, I hope to see more events appearing for us to talk about.
We should get in touch with the Sentinelist team because their local star does some online events every so often as well.
Yep, they are. I am planning to reach out to them about some stuff in the next couple of days if I don't hear back from some Indonesian guys. So,
Chris at the minute is on death's door after getting his COVID jab and is in pain.
Well, just to be clear, I had the vaccine yesterday. I shouldn't complain. I've had the vaccine. It's just killed me today. And luckily I had the day off work anyway because I had it this week on vacation. But I've been in pain all day. So drink lots of water because it feels like the world's worst hangover to me.
Yes,
but
water.
I can't complain. At least we've actually had it. So, Anna, how are you, man? How have you been this week? How many events have you played in this week?
This week I have only played in. I played in the Exalted Team Training, aka BITC Chainbound, and the Can't Touch This. Which one was it this time? Oh,
Carl, not tonight's in the audience. You can probably tell us if need be.
no, I didn't take part. Not tonight. Was taking part of the Archon's Corner. The Archon's Corner Gauntlet, which she made day 2 of. But yes, it was sealed.
Congratulations to her.
So I should have remembered it was sealed because it's Dominic used his new app that we showed you.
Ah, yes, that was awesome. So anyone else who's running an online sealed event, Can't Touch This have put together an awesome app that shows that lets you handle the sealed side of it. Now, as I always say to Brett's annoyance and a few of the other mods, we will never run a sealed event here at KOTE.
I pushed. I actually pushed for sealed after seeing this. App.
And the reason I will veto any sealed decisions is because for me, sealed is a way for a store to drive additional business and revenue through its doors to help support the store and help support the game. By us running a sealed, I feel we're going against that, and in which case I'm not particularly happy, and so I will not let KOTE run a sealed. Now that's not to say there's anything wrong with running sealed. I just personally disagree. Personally, don't want it to fix the KOTE ethos. Is what I'm trying to say. Don't disagree. I just don't think it fixed the KOTE ethos.
Well, for those interested, what the Can't Touch This team and Dominic have done is they made an app where you enter your TCO name, you enter in what they call a secret, so any word, and what that does is it generates a deck that has 70 SAS and has Dis as a house, which is what they've set the algorithm to, out of the 5,000 decks they put into it. So, and they can change the algorithm quite easily. They just need to update the database of it. So they can make it 60 SAS, they can make it shadows houses, they can basically allow you to have curated sealed or more controlled sealed, and without having to, like the KFPL use generated packets where they have Big Z and other KFPL members making up packets of decks randomly to send people. This is just random, procedurally generated random decks.
So, Brett, do you have a link to the sealed tool that they made, or not tonight? Do you see any objection from Dominic with us sharing that here? I should have asked before today, but I can't jump across that to Discord.
There's not really any benefit to it, but I don't have a link to it because me and Dominic were chatting about other stuff, so it's been lost to the annals of Discord.
So, but we'll share it inside the contributors on the Discord channel once we find it, or if not tonight, if you have it at hand and you want to share it, I'll be grateful because I think it's a great tool.
To Not Tonight for getting day 2 on the AC Gauntlet. I was talking to her while she was playing, and it was a Cinderella comeback. I think Not Tonight had lost the first 2 games and came back to get the last 4 wins to make day 2.
Wow, well done, Not Tonight. Well done.
No, Mr. Kong, the auction is a week on Saturday. That is basically any deck that has dis in it, and it's going to be an auction Archon, which is why I was asking on the UK Discord for tips about auction, because I've never played auction, and it seems like a hell of a format.
I played it once. It was awesome. I came third and won my store championship map. Or was that the week after? But either way, it was in Singapore. It was awesome. I miss playing with those guys in Singapore. That's why I'm nominally part of the Singapore team for this event. Because I know the guys out there and they needed one more. So yeah, I really do recommend auctions. They are a really, really good fun event. But they don't work with large audiences. You need like 8 people max.
Yeah, it basically, the last 4 weeks have been qualifiers for the Can't Touch This League, which the top 8 of all 4, the top 8 points, the top 8 players who gained the most points for the qualifiers made it into the Archon auction, and I managed to come away with 6th, maybe 5th. With my points, so I get to take part in it, and there's currently a battle going on between 3 people who are 7th, who have to play adaptive this week.
Adaptive's always fun. Well, I don't think it's as an awesome format as other people do, but I respect it as a format. So, one last piece of non-Keyforge news before we start on here. I get a puppy in 2 weeks. I just feel like sharing this with the audience. So, not next week, but the week after, I think. Maybe the week after that. If you see a puppy running around going mental while we are doing the stream, you've been warned. So this will be an interesting experience for us as a family here. So let's move on to the news. I do love your news intro, man. I do think it works really well.
I need to run it for the new software so he gets that HD shimmer to it.
Yes, so the first piece of news is Brett has redone his entire way of doing videos. So the featured games today are using different software that he's basically learned with 0 time and has done an amazing job. But the good news is
we have had to use the custom transition. So before, as well, I use Teams logos to create transitions. That isn't possible under the new software. So we've got more basic transitions, but the image quality has gone up dramatically.
Yep, they really have. So let's be clear. I'm sure you'll get the transitions back once you work out the right way of doing it.
Yeah.
So
what are we gonna name the dog? Keyfrogs are saying you should name it Penny.
The dog has a name. I will share the dog name and photo once I've been told I can. By the wife and children. It was named by my daughter, and we have some cute photos and videos, which maybe I'll share one next week. But yeah, just wanted to make everyone feel guilty next week when they see the dog and be jealous. So, in the news today, the first thing on the news is, from what I've read, and Brett, you can keep me honest here, man, because I've been out of it most of the day, the European Dark Tiding release is going to be April the 9th, but the US is going to be April the 12th. Is that correct?
Possibly, I'm not too sure. It's usually I've been seeing April 12th a lot, but that's a Monday, which doesn't make much sense. Usually it's a Thursday, Friday, which would be 8th, 9th.
Yeah.
But yeah, Keyfrog's saying April 9th, but if you look at American distribution numbers, you've got them saying April. If you look at Amazon, it's saying July, so just ignore Amazon. But it seems to be the consensus that the majority of the world has now moved over to April. There's still people in Italy claiming that they're going to have it ready to go on their stores on that their stores are going to be ready to go next Friday, which I really doubt is actually going to happen. But between April 9th and April 12th, it's a 3-day window. That's not too much, but everyone is now aware. It's now been confirmed by all the stores that it's been delayed. Still no word from FFG.
I think the approach I generally take is it's here when it's here, and until then we'll be annoyed, and then once it's arrived we'll be annoyed for a whole new set of reasons, like we can't play online yet, so we have all these decks we can't play because the TCO guys are human and are not superhuman, and thus can't implement it all massively ahead of time. But we shouldn't be annoyed about that, but I know we all will be
once the full set's been released, TCO can get to work implementing it straight away. Dr. Sheep is saying that they've gotten the sets. They've got in every set early, so hopefully it'll be the same with this one. Target stopped carrying Keyforge around Worlds Collide. They didn't start carrying anymore. And I know Germany got Mass Mutation early last time. So
I didn't
the set, yeah, your country will get the set when your country gets the set.
Yeah, I mean that's all we can say and do. I mean,
exactly.
We all look forward to it. I'll only be buying one box at launch this time, not two. But Brett will be buying his 75 as normal.
No, I already told Carl to basically put 2 boxes aside for me.
That reminds me, I should probably tell him to put a box aside for me. Board Game Extras, our sponsor for the previous event, have opened their pre-orders as well. They are retailing for 80 British pounds plus shipping for inside the UK, or if I remember correctly, or 84 pounds plus shipping inside the UK, or 70 pounds plus shipping outside the UK because you don't pay UK sales tax. But then you pay your local tax of choice.
On my birthday, I have some money from the in-laws and stuff that I can to put towards it. But since it's not coming on my birthday, I thought, okay, I'm going to get a second box and then just I cleared it with the wife.
Yep, important thing.
The important part.
Always. So
yeah, Target is very unlikely to get Keyforge again after like what they've done and how dramatically they've cut their prices in the past as well.
Same with any large retailer. They just get rid of it to make shelf space.
Exactly.
So, Debts of Keyforge update. Now, I didn't even realise the update came out yesterday, man. Again, because I've been out of it for 24 hours. What was the Debts of Keyforge update this week, and how has it impacted the SAS ratings of people's decks?
Update 6.5 it has the introduction of the efficiency bonus. This is an experimental thing that Nathan has brought in, and he did mention that he was going to bring it in on the KOTE Discord when we were talking about the next update. And basically, there's a baseline SAS of 67, and if you've got a high efficiency score, your efficiency bonus goes up. The higher your SAS is. If you've got high efficiency but a low SAS deck, your efficiency bonus goes down. It's really weird. It doesn't really impact SAS at the minute. It just seems to be because SAS is just an indicator of how much you can generate going through your deck once. The efficiency bonus seems to be an indication of how many times you're likely to go through your deck during the game. So for example, on one of my decks, which has got low efficiency, it's got a score of 0 because it's very likely to go through the deck once throughout a game. But one of my high efficiency decks has got 1.9, which means it's likely to go through the deck almost twice during the game.
So, with the changes though, I have now got 2 SAS 80 decks.
A couple of my decks went up and down, but that's because the main change to SAS was in the board wipes.
Yeah.
So Nathan has changed Arc and SAS to improve a couple of poor scores around things like Unlock Gateway and other board wipes, because that's more moving into like the current meta, but has also put more of a tax on efficiency crippling board wipes like Coward's End and Gateway to Dis, because it gives you the additional chains, which makes it a bit harder for you to maintain your efficiency.
I also like the fact that my new SAS 80 deck, I don't think I've ever won a game with. So
yeah, I've got one that's been floating around 80-81 for like the last couple of SAS updates, and apart from the fact it's got 2 battle fleets, I don't know why it's there.
I mean, my deck looks good. I just can't suddenly play it. I may send it to you later.
Yeah, pretty much not tonight. Basically, Logo's got a massive buff in the latest SAS update.
So we're going to move on to the bit that I'm looking forward to most about tonight's show. Brett is now going to show off his Polish and Russian skills.
Oh,
Are you ready, man?
I
Here we
the,
go.
The three spoilers we got from Can't Touch This was enough to go through here. I don't know if this is a new one, but this is an evil twin of one that we've already had out in here. And this is Anti-Hunting Witch, which is basically a 2-power elusive. Each of a creature you play, your opponent loses 1. So you play this, and then you play Glorious Attendant, your opponent loses 1. You play another one, your opponent loses 1. I love this card.
It is definitely a good card. I think it's going to be some. You're going to love this card especially.
Mr. Kong, if you're in the decks of Keyforge Discord, it's a question I probably put to Nathan there. If not, let me know and I'll drop you an invite because I joined too recently. You've gone to Russian. Why are you doing this to me?
Because I think I've got these coming through in a random order.
So early birds. This is an action alpha, and basically it's a 2-pip Ready All Shadows cards.
That was too easy. Let's try a harder one, shall we?
So,
2 picks.
but you got to figure this out. This one's an alpha, so this one starts at the beginning of your turn when all your cards are already ready.
Theoretically, yeah.
So this is an anti-exhaustion meta because you've got cards that keep your creatures exhausted now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a card that basically lets you ready everything up. It's also going to be good against things like persistent hunting and the other cards that basically exhausted your creatures. Nocturnal maneuver.
I think the 2 amber picks, though, is the key thing here, though, more than anything else. The rest of it's just kind of a nice to have. And the alpha lets
It's also good to see. It's also good to see shadows as pirates, because they've had a very Victorian, like 1800s feel, and now they're pirates.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know the name of this one, but basically this is
Something's a bit alliance.
Choose one creature from each. Choose one creature of each house. Destroy all creatures except for the chosen ones.
That's a nice card.
So this is Unnatural Selection 2.0. If you share the same houses of your opponent, you can wipe out your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how
it
this
would be
plays.
good for Scarlet Caper as well. That's the previous one. But yeah, if you share any houses of your opponents, you can literally wipe their board. It's really good.
I love the artwork of this one.
I love the artwork on this one as well. And basically, play if your opponent has no amber, deal 4 damage to a creature. Otherwise, steal 1. Not a bad card. It either deals 4 damage, something which 4 is always a good number because you've got Oubliette and the harder they come for purging. 4 is always one that's a bit harder to deal with.
Yep.
Or you just get to steal 1 from them.
All depends what's currently out, but I do love that artwork. So moving on.
I love it. Portal Vac.
Portal
Basically, wow.
Portal Vac.
Portal Vac. Basically, while the tide is high, your opponent's keys cost +4.
Now, the question I have here is, can't we change the tide? So, can't change the tide before the start of your turn to stop
it's an action.
It's an action to change the tide. Okay.
So you start your turn, forge step, choose house, archive, and then you can start taking actions.
So, moving on.
Is it otherwise, or if you do steal 1? As far as you can't be if you do steal 1 because your opponent has to have no amber for the 4 damage. But yeah, Ultimate Fox is saying the same as me. I double checked it. It is an Omni. This is Bitum, which is what it translates to, from what I was told. And basically, when a neighboring creature takes damage, ready it. Which, to me, is really cool.
That seems massively broken.
It possibly can be, depending if we see the return of things like Shadow Self. Drekka would have been a good one, but this is out. But it's just going to be really good if you can get multiples of these next to each other, or if you can get some self damage. If you've got enhancements for self damage, you can do a lot. It's not like enrage and ready. It's just ready. It's if you've got a damage pip on another card after this, you can just ready up, ready to go. And 6 power is not that easy to use. It's not that easy to deal with.
but also if you just look at the way that if you have two ready sanctioned cards next to each other, one being this one, and the other one, you use this one to attack to exhaust it, then you attack with the other one takes damage from the attack, then this one would re-enable itself.
Exactly. It doesn't have to. Just like cards like Little Nif, the opponent's the creature next to it doesn't have to survive. It just has to take damage.
Two of these next to each other would be hilarious.
Oh, definitely. Especially if you got ones that only deal like 1 damage.
So.
But no, the names aren't ready. But
Obvious
the creatures name. If you had two of these creatures next to each other, Ultimo, they keep readying each other up every time they took damage, just like
for
Grey
6
Riders.
times. Yeah. And to respond to Connie's vote, yes, that is an awesome name for a card, for a dog, sorry. But also we have another Keyforge related name for our little puppy coming along. That my daughter didn't know was a Keyforge related name.
By a mongrel?
No, but it may be called that if it's a little bugger that I expect. And you will appreciate the name for a puppy and its annoyance. So moving on to the next card.
So this has been translated as Small Mamook, Baby Mamook, or Mamookling, and I prefer Mamookling.
Yeah, it sounds good.
But this one is basically your opponent's keys cost +X, Amber, where X is Mamookling's power. And for me, this one can get nuts if you've got Rapid Evolution, Growth Surge, Pampapa Anger, Grove Keeper. There's another card that we'll come to a little bit later on in Star Alliance that can do some work with this. Sanctum's quite good. Its Shoulder Armor can do some serious work with increasing, depending what else is in the set. This card could get a little bit nuts.
I just see it being a quick target, to be honest. It'd be one of these things like a witch. You see it on the board, you nuke it as fast as you can.
Oh, yeah, it's a 2 power with not elusive. It's a little, but it's better than the KOTE Mamook, which to me was quite good anyway. But any kind of key control and amber control in Untamed is needed. Light of the Archons, if you get a legacy Light of the Archons, if Light of the Archons is back, you can do some serious work with Mamookling. It all depends what else is in the set.
Completely. Is that the last one? I believe that might be our last one. Oh no, I tell a lie.
We've got loads to go, man.
Sorry, this Twitch is being slow.
Chest of Death.
Catchy.
Yes, place 4 amber on the chest. Deal 2 damage to any creature. Static ability. If 6 or more creatures were destroyed this turn, and the chest is ready, move all amber from the chest to the active player's pool. So basically, it all comes down to who can kill 6 creatures in the same turn first.
And that's a big achievement.
But it doesn't say enemy or friendly, it just says creatures.
I'll take your word for that, man. I'm not sure.
So if you've got 3 creatures and I've got 3 creatures and I board wipe, I get 4 amber. It's an anti-pizza card.
So it's a war coalition.
Yeah, pretty much.
So moving on to the next one. Come on.
Mo Swindler. I think this is my dark horse of the set. Mo Swindler is going to get overlooked so much, and it's going to. I think this may legitimately cause table flips in games. Not as much as another card, but this basically, when you play Mo Swindler, you may exalt it 1 or 2 times, and then as an action, you may steal 1 for each amber on Mo.
Ouch.
Just
imagine that was like tribute.
But no, you can't, because it's a 1 power creature with no elusive, no protection, and tribute is for the highest.
Yeah, but there's often enough that you have tribute down and no other creatures out apart from this one.
Yeah, but if you've got this creature down and then you've got capture enhancements in shadows, or you've got opportunist, or you've got other cards that let you capture, like Skeleton Key, you don't need to exalt Mo. You put Mo down, your opponent goes, okay, he's not exalted. It's not much of a threat. And then one time you just go capture 3 onto Mo, reap for free, action steal 3.
Yeah.
It's like they can kill it next turn and get their 3 amber back, but they've already lost.
Completely. it's going to be interesting. I don't think that's going to be good as you make out, but we'll see when the set comes out. Because again, it's all depends what's
it's going to be a dark horse in sealed. If this is in your deck, you're going to like it, but you're not going to pick a deck just solely because it's got it. It's not a witch. So this is
Ultimate Fox is coming here. Will Animator make a comeback?
Yeah, that's for the
if you want to tribute this, it's only useful if your opponent has like 12 amber anyway.
You don't see how frequently I see my opponent having 12 amber recently.
Yeah,
So
there's no with mass mutation. There's no fear of going above 6 anymore. There's no too much to protect. There's no interdimensional graft. There's bring glow, which is capture only. So there's no fear about going that high anymore. But yeah, if you've got golden spiral down, and then you go tribute or you go spoils of battle, you go city state interest, and then you can use Mo outside a house. Perfect. That is the spiciest of plays. But this is Wyatt or Viat, depending on how it's going to be written and pronounced. But basically, this creature cannot be used in the beginning of your turn. You may give your opponent 2 amber. If you do, destroy this upgrade.
Sorry, can you repeat all that again, man?
So you put this upgrade on a creature. That creature can no longer be used. So no reaping, no fighting, no action, no nothing. You can then choose to give your opponent 2 amber, and if you do, destroy this upgrade.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's going to be, again, it's situational, but it's a situation you see coming fairly often.
Okay, so there's 2 here. 2. We've got the officer at the back, and we've got the officer's blaster. So the upgrade is officer blaster. This creature gains 2 power. You put that on my Mook Link. Done. This creature gains destroyed. Attach this blaster to the neighbor to the right. So this is a blaster that just bounces itself. It's very hard to destroy. As long as there's a creature to the right, that bouncer will keep blasting and keep giving creatures 2 power. The creature behind it is called Comms Officer Gross, and it lets you find Liaison Officer Ying. And Officer Gross has a fight reap ability of give each creature +1 power. That's between Comms Officer Gross and Liaison Officer Ying.
It's going to be interesting seeing that combo when it comes through.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Liaison Officer's ability is, though.
That is true.
Can you imagine it's going to have some sort of similar effect?
Definitely. So,
still more to go.
On to some amazing artwork.
Yeah, this is the Sanctum ship. This ability is a bit weird to me. Exhaust up to 4 friendly Sanctum creatures. Stun and exalt a creature for each creature exhausted this way. So you basically go, okay, these 4 are exhausted, and then you can choose your own creatures or your opponent's creatures to then exalt and stun.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I could see it going both ways.
Definitely same here, and if you've still got cards like Ludo, Senator Baracus, Circusaurus floating around, you might want to do your own. But at the same time, there's no harming stunning your opponent's creatures and putting some amber on them.
Yeah, if you stun sort of 4 enemy creatures, then you eventually get that amber back that you would have reaped for when the stun creatures are destroyed. No, that's a fair point. It's a fair point.
But it just seems so underwhelming compared to the exhaust 4 logos creatures, play the top 3 cards of your deck.
Again, this is why I say we need to see what's going to be paired with and how it works in the actual combos.
Yeah, it just feels like the logo ship has sort of jumped the shark on the ships.
And this is the final one.
Yes.
Now, we don't have any artwork for this yet, unfortunately.
Dark Discovery.
Where did this card come from?
So this came from Slim Slam's Sanga on Twitter. And basically, Name 2 cards, discard the bottom 2 cards of your opponent's deck, and if they are the named cards, purge Dark Discovery and forge a key at no cost. It is objectively better than Key of Darkness because you still get to take cards from your opponent's deck.
I mean, this is one of these cards that if you are on TCO, it's going to break TCO. In face to face, less worried about it. But it's definitely interesting. It's not something I would want to play in a competitive tournament. But on the other hand, maybe I would because it's just the gamble. If it pays off, it pays off.
On TCO, this card's going to be a lot easier to pull off than it's going to be IRL. But it's going to be interesting to see what kind of support it gets. Plus, you've got if you get an Evil Twin Old Paddy, which starts discarding cards from the bottom of your opponent's deck. If your opponent's got an empty deck and you use things like you've got a Lost in the Woods that's gone in, or your opponent's playing, if your opponent's playing multiple Rad Pennies, or things like if your opponent's done a lot of self purging, or then you can sort of limit you can limit down what to do on deck. It punishes a lot of niche decks, but it also just disrupts your opponent's last 2 cards of the deck
completely.
And with some of the mutants, your mass mutation, putting cards at the bottom of your deck, yes, that isn't public information, but your opponent then knows what's at the bottom of the deck, and you can disrupt their late game plans by attacking the bottom of the deck.
And the Verenji from the chat has made a valid point. Is whenever this goes off, it's going to make your opponent feel horrible.
Oh yeah, if this ever goes off, it doesn't matter if this is the first key or the third key. I think your opponent's just going to get up and walk away. This is just, if you pull this off, especially like if you're playing sealed, where you have no idea what's in your opponent's deck, I want this to go off. This needs to be a Crucible Tracker achievement straight away.
Or even better, forge 2 of your keys with this card in one event.
Plague Rat decks get a lot worse. Routine Job decks get a lot worse. Dave Corrado, the holder of the most 5 of card decks, has now got. It's like, oh, you're playing 5 E-Dice. Yeah, Dark Discovery for E-Die on both.
I mean, I like it and I hate it at the same time. It's exactly what the game needed, and I hate it at the same time. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it messes up Rad Penny, and that's something I like, because a lot of players, I've seen a lot of Rad Pennies going around, and it's going to be really, really good.
That's a good point. My point for Ultimate Thoughts was, yes, this purges itself. My point was having decks with multiple of them in. Because having 2 or 3 of these in a deck, we just question it'll be. Yeah, I hope it is going to be one of those cards restricted to 1 per deck, but we'll have to wait and see. And it may also be paired with something else.
2 would be fine, because the chances of you pulling this off once without any support is going to be high. Is going to be hard enough. Well, never mind twice, because you can't discard the same cards, can you?
You're right. It'll be pure luck both times. But
I want to see a Maverick one of these in Untamed with Lost in the Woods. Just wait for your opponent to have no cards left in their deck, and like Lost in the Woods, Dark Discovery.
I hate I've lost games in the worst way.
All right, man. Just in the interest of time, let's move on. So we now get to the next piece of the news. Sorry, we're not even halfway through the news yet. So
no, I haven't got. And this is a longer video thanks to these guys playing so efficiently.
So let's jump into ABR. It's that button. So you got the ABR results, I believe, Brett.
Yes. So week 2 ABR summary, which was team sealed. The three top houses, so the houses that won the most, were Mars, Logos, and Dis. By a fair margin, Mars was the least picked house by a far margin, but Shadows, Dis, and Logos were the most picked house. So Bromnar came in with 15 decks. Mass Mutation was the far away most pick set, which makes sense when you can control where the pips go. AOA only got 12 decks, and 37 decks picked Logos, meaning that it was the highest. But in terms of results, Hobo's Revenge managed to beat out the Fuzzy Batch. Big Green Gromids took out the Quixelhead 6-4. Bo Niffing's Bo Problems took out the Riders of the Dams 7-3. Flump, there it is. Took out Dusk Runners 7-3. And the Z-Force agents were able to take down Plague Drats 6-4. Hell of a game there. And we're moving into week 3, which is going to be best of 3 adaptive. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how it goes on there.
Yeah, I mean, good luck to all. I say they all seem to be having fun, so I hope it continues well. So, moving on to the KFPL. Yes. So, the KFPL have. I've got video playing.
The KFPL are running a new event next week where they have.
Next week.
No, this week. Sorry, the 20th of March. What am I saying? It's 2 weeks from Saturday. They're releasing the video for this tomorrow. It's essentially 2 events at the same time. You will have a choice to play 2 decks, 75 SAS cap, no heart, no Jenka, or 2 decks, no SAS cap, no restriction. $10 entry, and also these 2 events will be final 2 from each battle will win an invitation to KFPL. So if you want to get into season 3 of KFPL and want to start qualifying early,
The video super long
Right, there we go. So, just to repeat all that.
the KFPL are running a event, 2 events essentially at the same time on the 2 weeks on Saturday. This is a $10 entry. One event will be 2 decks, 75 SAS cap, no heart, no Jenka. The other one was 2 decks, no SAS cap, no restrictions. Winners of each event, or each battle as they're calling them, will be invited to KFPL Season 3. So if you want to get in there, get your qualifying... if you want to just get in there, get qualifying early for KFPL Season 3, go in. Guess what? Do we have the dates yet for KFPL Season 3? Rep?
Pass. Nope.
Okay. So,
if Jupiter's here, if you can let you know. If not, I believe Jupiter has a Wednesday stream at 9 a.m. EST tomorrow around that time.
yeah. And apologies there for deafening everybody.
I didn't delete the old video from this scene last time. So, moving on to the Swindle results, or the Swindle event.
Swindle event, yes, because it's not actually happened yet.
Do we have the results from last weekend, though?
No, don't think there is a last weekend this week coming.
Okay, my mistake. Which events are coming this week?
Oh no, it did. No, Karen put it in wrong. So yes, last week. So this Sunday, last Sunday, was the 275 cap Archon progression, which basically means you bring 4 decks that add up to 275 SAS, and each round you use a different deck. Dave Cordero came in at 3rd. Ugluk 4242 came in at 2nd, and Aurora managed to take the lead with a 4-0 win on there. I don't know if they went into top cut after that, but Aurora did take part in the first time Swindle ran this event, and it's a really interesting format because not only do you have to take into account the SAS of your decks, but you also have to bring decks for each round. So you have to it's kind of like a SAS progression, but but you can basically bring in one really bad deck and chuck in a lot of ones in there. But that's when they were doing Top Cut as well. And as Zarmis has pointed out, next Saturday they have got the big one, which is a Archon 2 deck survival with a 80 SAS cap, and each donation that people put in, a minimum of $10 donation to take part, but every donation you put in there, 50% goes to Doctors Without Borders, and the other 50% goes into the prize pool for the event.
Yeah.
So I do recommend people, and I believe Mortivus is actually looking to sponsor players to take part. So even if you short on cash or you're in a bit of a situation, speak to Mortivus, and I believe he's still looking for 1 or 2 people basically to sponsor to take part in the event.
I'm actually planning to attend this one. It's been a while, but if I can wing it with the family, I'll be there for this event. Because as I say, I just need to get more games in. I know you'll be there, Brett, because you're always there.
I can't.
Oh, it's your birthday weekend.
No, but it's also the same weekend as the Archon auction for Captain's Disc.
That makes sense. That should be fun though in itself. So yeah,
Imagine not tonight and all basically anyone who hasn't got an event going on there. But I want to give that my full attention because the Polish people don't mess about. The Polish players do not mess about. It is cutthroat games.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! So the other thing to talk about the Swindle right now is we put a call out saying we want some more mods. I say put a call out. We put a call out saying we were going to get some new mods. We've got the first one lined up, and it's Karen from the Swindle will be has come on board as one of our American mods. She'll be working with Rickster to help be a central point for any questions from the Americas and help promote the event and to joining the discussions we have. We're still looking for one mod from the Asia Pacific. I've spoken to a couple of people so far, but they don't have the time to be involved here to mod it. So I've got one more person to reach out to. So it's going to be so if you know anyone on Asia Pacific who you'd recommend, let us know. The point of being a mod is primarily just help man Discord when Brett and I are overwhelmed and join in the debates and arguments about rules behind the scenes.
The pure amount of people that we've got in this event, the amount of times I was waking up to check on my son at 4 o'clock in the morning and seeing Discord blowing up was just, Chris started having a go at me for answering questions at that late in the night, so we thought it was best to bring on another
couple of mods.
And another time zone mod that could help take out because unfortunately Vic can't do everything himself.
I know, and Nook and Brian, our current Asia Pacific mods. So just because we're now hitting the numbers we're going, and for all the million of you who I know will be happy to help that live in the UK or Europe, we have like most of the mods are currently in Europe. So we're very much not discounting people here. We're more that's not the area we need the support. It's the support from the guys further afield, or guys and girls, should I say, further afield. But thanks, Karen, for coming on board.
If we need more EU mods, there's a long list of people that we probably approach. But we need
yeah, this is the one area we don't need people. African will take though, if you have any African people, or Australia as well. But it's just trying to make sure we have the right people.
I'm trying to break Africa. I'm in the Facebook groups. I just need them to respond.
Always the challenge, always the channel. So moving on to AFK now. AFK is the French weekly tournament. So the AFK run two things. They have a league that runs, which we don't have any updates for. They also have a weekly event on a Thursday, which is a €5 entry, and the prize is always a Shadow Prize kit. This week is the first tournament of the month, thus it's an adaptive short. However, this time there's a minimum SADS cap of 67. So anyone who plays must bring decks that are 67 SADS or above. Now that's very interesting for an adaptive. But as ever, it's Thursday evening, so unfortunately I can't attend. But it's a great set of guys. Liptops, who does our metrics, always is singing the praises there. I played with these guys once a long time ago. So I fully... Hi Lima, JPC Lima. Great to see some Brazil representation on the stream. Thanks, man. You guys, you yourself are an amazing player, man. We can't wait to see you in the top cut. Well, not that I'm biased or anything.
Can't wait to see everyone in the top cut.
Yeah, except us, except me. We lost our first game this week. Boo. So, moving on to CTD, which I think we've pretty much covered already. But hey, let's bring up already.
So this week in CTD was the sealed procedure generated decks. It was a really really fun event. I believe
Posture check.
Soros Ansoros took the win this time. Really good games. I came in 6th this time. I lost to Houdini, who then went on to lose all of their games, which made me sad. We've been given 2 posture checks by Mr. Conks. I assume that's both of us. But coming up this week is Archon Solo, so any deck can be brought. Coming on the 6th. but there is a Shadows just going to figure for grabs. Top two all get playmats. Top four all get prizes. Essentially, it's one of the Shadows kits ready to go. Unlike what they've been doing with other ones, this is just Rebel Games telling can't touch this basically. Archon Solo doesn't have to have this like the other events. It's going to be really good. I'm going to definitely try and jump in on this one. And the following weekend on the 13th, the same time as the big one, the top 8 of the Can't Touch This Farewell to This League get to face off in the Archon auction. The top 8, going off the points of the previous 4 events, are Dominic, who got 18 points, Franel, who got 18 points, Saurus Antinous, who got 17 points, Bartek, coming in with 16 points, myself, in 5th, coming in with 15 points, Minitao, with 15 points, was joint 5th, and then 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th are Blessed Crusader, Houdini, and Dzak90, who basically all have to play adaptive this week to basically get ahead. Because if only one of them can actually take part, only 2 of them can actually take part in the event, so one of them has to be eliminated. It's going to get a little nuts.
It sounds it, man. It sounds it. So, again, in the interest of time, just going to move on soon. The last thing to bring up here quickly is Ivana from Board in the City is putting together another Keyforge event. Now, I don't have the details to hand, but she wants to do a story-driven event. Now, she's got some story that she's working on that a few of us have been fortunate enough to see the sample of, but there's some changes going back. But she wants to do an event based around that. So we hope to have more information next week. We don't have dates or anything else like that.
So after speaking to Ivana, and I was one of the people that got to read the story, it evolved into a rivalry in the Crucible. So, for example, there are cards in Keyforge which show that certain houses don't get along. Niflkong shows... Niflkong, Common Cold show that Untamed do not get along with Mars.
Don't give away too much, man. Don't give away.
But the first event, which is going to be on the cutoff is the 25th of March, and we're taking part at 3 p.m. GMT on the 27th of March, and this first one will be a Dis versus Sanctum, I believe.
I have no idea, man. I mean, I was waiting to have more details next week.
In the series of tournaments, the first basically it's going your house must either contain Dis or Sanctum. It can't contain both, and those will be the first people facing off on the 27th, I believe.
Awesome. So we hope to have all the information finalised next week, but this sounds like an exciting event for the 27th. 27th is a Saturday evening, just to be clear. This is the week after the KFPL event. It's 2 weeks after the big one.
KFPL, yeah. Oh, wow.
So you could have pretty much Saturday events every week for the next few weeks, I think. But yeah, and again, she's planned it for the weekend I can't do because it's my daughter's birthday this time, not my wedding anniversary. But it is what it is. Right, guys. So just
I went back through our history, and I went back through our previous streams, and on my last wedding anniversary, I was streaming and meet the teams.
Oh, God, man. So right, just because we're coming up to nearly an hour already, and we've barely got that, we've done a news which takes 15 minutes.